So a couple days ago, I went live and I read chapter 12 together with y'all when it got leaked. And let me tell you, this is one of, if not the best chapter of Boruto TBV VORTEX we've seen yet. And we got a lot to discuss. So many new narratives and plot points were created from just this chapter alone. So, without further ado, let's go over them right now. But of course, before we jump into the video, I want to kindly ask if you would leave a like on the video, as it would actually help the video extremely in the YouTube algorithm. When I normally set a like goal, you guys really destroy it. So for this like goal, I think I'll set it for about 600 likes. I feel like that's fair. And also subscribe if you enjoy content like this. I would love for you to join this ever-growing community. But enough of the rambling. I know. Let's just get right into the new chapter review. The standoff between Boruto and Hidari right here has to be one of the coldest panels. You just know some otherworldly stuff is about to go down. Straight to business, no wasting time. Boruto tells Konohamaru to look after Himawari, but like I just said, Hidari wastes no time to get straight down to business. He instantly tries to attack Boruto while he was talking, but Boruto blocks his attack with the blade of his sword and uses wind style breakthrough to blast Hidari back out of the way. Now, I know there was a whole bunch of uproar throughout the community about whether this attack is actually Gale Palm or Breakthrough, because essentially both are very similar in a way. And the panel you see right here is actually from the fan translated version. So by the time you see this video, it should be revealed what the actual name of the jutsu is. I mean, does it actually matter? Probably not as much as people are making it out to be. But it's still cool because it's something we haven't seen Boruto do often. And it'll be the first time we see him use that attack since the time skip. But after Boruto and Hidari start their battle, it shows Kawaki and Delta looking kinda confused. They were headed towards where Boruto was flying, but it seems nobody is there except Jura. Kawaki stated that Boruto's presence moved from one place to another in a mere instance, coming to the conclusion that he's definitely in Konoha right now because of his time-space ninjutsu. So Delta asks the sensory unit about the whereabouts of Himawari and Team 10, and they tell him that Team 10 is headed towards Konoha with Inujin, who is injured, and Himawari is with Konohamaru and Boruto. Now Kawaki and Delta know where Boruto and the others are. Just keep that in mind for later. Now, it cuts back to Boruto and the others as Boruto tries to direct everyone on what to do during the fight, but Konohamaru and the sensory ninja refuse to take orders from Boruto because, of course, he's a rogue ninja, and hasn't gained back enough trust through his actions for them to consider him an ally yet. Again, it's Sarada trying to instill some logic in Konohamaru by stating that Boruto isn't an immediate threat to Konoha, because if he didn't pop out and save her when he did, then she for sure would have been devoured. So for now, just try to work with him to defeat Hidari and save Konoha. Sumire explains the situation to Boruto that Hidari is targeting Sarada because even though Konohamaru and the others were in close range, he still went after Sarada despite all of that. So perhaps it has some connection to Sasuke, who was turned into a tree. So you can kind of see they're starting to understand the situation a little better. This chapter, I could say everyone is learning more about the Shinju than they ever have. And it won't be long until they understand them to a point where they are able to combat and defeat them more easily, especially Jura, who still appears to be the strongest threat out of the bunch. Boruto stays focused on the matter at hand though. Even if they are after Sarada, they all still need to concentrate on how to defeat him, because defeating him is the key to saving Sasuke and all the rest of the people who was turned into trees. Now, as the fight continues, the sensory ninja is trying to sense which claw mark Hidari will emerge from, but it's not as easy as it seems because the chakra seems to be scrambled everywhere and not just one specific claw mark. And turns out, that's because what came through those claw marks was just a whole bunch of claw grinds. They're not so much of a threat now, because we've seen the likes of Sarada, Kawaki, and Boruto handle them with relative ease. But they're not really to cause damage per se. They're just there to distract Boruto and the others and create an opening for Hidari to strike Sarada. Before I go on, can I just say that this move from Boruto is absolutely sick. He jumped over both claw grinds and completely obliterated them without even touching the ground. And Sarada's attacks were pretty cool, like kinda straightforward, nothing too crazy, but as she kicked the claw grind, Hidari popped out of his stomach and grabbed her leg. Like it was stated before by Sumire, Hidari is targeting Sarada, and he's went out of his way to make it so obvious that people are starting to pick up on it. So Boruto, anticipating that Hidari tries something like this to get close to Sarada, launches a shuriken at the back of the Claw Grime's neck to use as a catalyst to perform the flying Raijin and get closer to Hidari. He then lands a devastating RASENGAN on Hidari, basically melting the whole right side of his body off like butter. Now, this is where things get kinda complicated, because Hidari can regenerate his whole body by using the claw marks to go back to the Shinju dimension. This makes it so you basically have to destroy each one of the Shinju in one big blow, or else all your hard work will be wasted. And that's not easy, because not everyone can do that. Not everyone has a technique in their arsenal that is capable of pulling off such a feat. The only person right now who could possibly do that is probably Boruto and a select few others. Now, knowing this, Boruto and Sarada prepare a plan to essentially destroy Hidari in one blow, like I said. Boruto plans to use the Uzuhiko at maximum output to unalive him in one blow. He goes on to explain what he already knew about the Uzuhiko to Sarada, that it makes use of the planet's rotation and the chakra of the planet. We also got some new interesting facts about the Uzuhiko as well, such as there is no limit to the power of Uzuhiko, and that it's a technique that takes up a lot of chakra to launch at full power, and it can only be used if Boruto is on the ground because the planet's chakra has to be taken in through both feet. So, in other words, it's gonna take time to properly prepare. So Sarada and Konohamaru need to buy Boruto some time. If he gets the time he needs, Hidari is basically dead. Konohamaru spots Hidari emerging from one of the claw marks, so he prepares his Rasen barrier to block out Hidari's lightning attack, which granted Boruto a little bit more time to prepare the Uzuhiko. However, the time he's granted isn't gonna be long, because immediately after this, Hidari grabs Sarada and tries to drag her into the claw mark with him. But Sarada shows impressive feat after impressive feat. You still gotta give her credit. Like I said back in chapter 11, I just didn't feel like she had a proper opportunity to show what she's really capable of. But in this chapter, she more than redeemed herself. Well, in my opinion at least. I don't speak for everybody, of course. So she uses Chidori Nagashi, or Chidori Stream, whichever one you want to say, to encase her entire body in lightning to stun him, then launches him directly out of the claw mark with her insane strength. The tag team that we knew we was gonna see into this fight is finally in full effect. Sarada swings Hidari right into Boruto's Uzuhiko, an Uzuhiko that's not even at full power because of the lack of time he was given, and it still completely shredded Hidari to pieces. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, bro stood no chance. Only half of his torso remained from that attack, and to be honest, if the Uzuhiko was at full power, nothing would have been left behind. Not a single atom, a single molecule of this dude. Okay, that's a clear exaggeration, but he would have definitely been unrecognizable. And when you really start to understand just how limitless Uzuhiko is, you can see just how much Boruto held back against Code. Like, if Boruto really wanted to, he could literally turn Code to dust. It's just that he didn't have the right amount of time to charge up the Uzuhiko to that point, and he didn't want Code dead just yet, because he obviously needed him to get to the Ten Tails dimension. This is something I wish people would understand. It's not a Code durability feat at all. He would have died if he got hit with the same level of Uzuhiko that Hidari got hit with. I'm pretty sure most of my supporters understand this, but just for some select stubborn people, I have to address this one to them. But don't worry, I plan to give Rasengan Uzuhiko its own solo video anyway. I feel like it's time, and we know as much as we can about the technique, so why not? But even though Hidari got hit with the near maximum output Uzuhiko, he still lived, and he tried to go back into the claw mark to regenerate again. That is until Kawaki shrunk the claw mark using Sukuna Hikona. And he shrunk every single claw mark too. So you see right here, I hate to admit it, but when fighting against the Shinju, Kawaki is a very necessary person to have around, only because his Kokugan is a hard counter to Code's claw marks. We've seen it time and time again. Once you shrink these claw marks to a certain point, they're useless. This prevents the Shinju from retreating so easily once they find themselves in an unfavorable situation. All he has to do is shrink the claw marks, and then deliver the final blow, just like he did right here with Hidari. And now we enter what seems to be the most important and informative part of the chapter. After Hidari was unalived, a chakra fruit-like object formed out of the ashes of his corpse. These objects are called Thorn Souls. And I plan to dive deeper into this new object in a separate video later on, because it wasn't stated exactly what it was. But with a little research, members of the Boruto community was able to come up with a vague idea of what it could be, which I'm gonna put up on the screen right here. This Thorn Soul appears to be the source of Hidari's power, and apparently why he has most of Sasuke's abilities and took on his appearance. All of the Shinju have one of these inside them. This is what separates them from regular claw grinds. And this Thorn Soul also acts as a way for Boruto and the others to save Sasuke from his tree-like state. How exactly would it work wasn't specified. All Boruto told Kawaki was, it's to help my master who was turned into a tree. So you establish a new object and give the readers an idea of why it's important, then immediately take it away by having Boruto get sniped by Jura's Biju Dama and have him completely drop it and ultimately be recovered by Jura himself. I mean, that's pretty good writing if I do say so myself. Now, unaliving Jura is an absolute must if they want to save Sasuke. But how will they do it if Boruto's down with a grave injury and Sarada ain't 100% healthy herself? Jura is now set on trying to unalive Boruto because he now sees him as a great threat. And he got Hidari in his hand and most likely could revive him somehow with that Thorn Soul if they don't get it back. The key to Sasuke's survival was so close, but yet so far. And now looking at the current circumstances, someone besides Boruto is gonna have to step up and find a way to take on Jura. Is it Kawaki? Or do you think someone else would join in on the battle like Damon or maybe Mitsuki? We still haven't seen Kawaki use his V2 state, might I add. So is this something we'll see next chapter? And if we do see it, do you think it'll make a difference in the outcome of the battle? Or do you think something more menacingly is bound to happen, like maybe a Momoshiki emergence? Let me know what you guys think is next for Boruto and the others, as well as how much you enjoyed this chapter in the comment section. Let's rate it 1 through 10. 10 being the best chapter you read yet. To be fair, chapter 12 didn't disappoint. It was anticipated to be one of the best chapters in the series, and I feel like it executed in that perfectly. If you like this video and want to see more chapter reviews like this in the near future, then by all means drop a like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you turn on those post notifications so you don't miss another video like this or whenever I go live to go over the chapter spoilers with you guys. This month we had a pretty good stream, and next month we'll have an even better one. So just make sure you don't miss it, my friend. But anyway, I said all that I needed to say. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until my next video, I'm gonna see y'all boys and girls later, and I'm out. Peace.